An Omaha man whose pickup truck caught fire earlier today now tells 6 News he is incredibly thankful. This right here is Alan Valentine's pickup truck. It caught fire around 2 a.m. in the back parking lot of the Park East apartment building. That's right near 26th and Leavenworth. The truck is a total loss, as you see. The fire also damaged 2 other vehicles that were parked next to the truck. Some people who live in the building say they heard an explosion. Alan tells us his cousin, who is homeless, sometimes sleeps in his truck just to get off the streets.
Oh yeah, he comes around and I let him sleep in there sometimes, and thank God he wasn't there today. That's luck though, because I seen him yesterday and I almost made him come over.
Wow, could have been a close call. People who live in those apartments say there are security cameras in the alley. The Omaha Fire Department is working now to figure out what caused the explosion and the fire.